Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital and welcome to this new video right here on XLM or Stellar. Needed to do an update, alright? The price action right now is very interesting. I'm very tempted almost to start buying XLM, which we'll talk about in this video, of course. There were some requests for XLM as well, which I completely understand because the price action, of course, not only by XLM but also by the main duo XRP XLM has been very good. And I'll show you in a moment that on the higher time frames, I'm not fully convinced right now about this price action because and this is also what we spoke about in the last videos. Look, 25 cents for me was really the main level that needed to break, right? And I thought in the last video, in my defense, it looked unlikely that was going to happen. However, since my last video, you can see, first of all, we reacted relatively well to the fair value gap made right here, Saturday the 5th. And then we also had a good reaction with this previous move that we had yesterday, but I'll show you that in a moment. So even though we have not fully reclaimed above that level around 25 cents, so that's why I'm also not fully convinced yet, right? And ultimately, I mean, Bitcoin is also losing some traction, losing some momentum, which is also not something you want to see when you want to buy into an altcoin, which Stellar ultimately still is, but it's looking promising. Both in fundamentals, you can see that Stellar right here in TVL is actually nearing the all-time highs again. So that's great to see. There's some other metrics which we've spoken about before in previous videos on Stellar that also look quite good. But outside of that, technically, it looks very interesting. And for that, I wanted to zoom into the lower time frames, because what you can see is that Stellar for quite some time, since the end of June, basically until Sunday, it was kind of consolidating in one pretty tight area. So one pretty tight area. And we had some deviations, of course, but that was mainly this area right here. And then we had a deviation right here. We had a deviation right there. Wow, my apologies. Deviation there, but ultimately quite a lot of balance. And then what we saw and what happened right here when we, so this was on Sunday, price started to auction higher and it started to break out above that balance. And so far, then you will always have to make the evaluation. Look, the price is trying to go up. Is it doing a good job at going up? And in my opinion, it is, right? The one thing that the one thing that I miss is a lot of volume, right? I mean, if you take a look at the volume down here, it's actually pretty minor. If you take a look at the volume on Coinbase, it's a little bit higher, but it's also not the highest we've seen in the last couple of months, which is also not necessary, but it's actually quite low, right? So that's not something you want to see. But we do have some sort of a fundamental catalyst pushing it up, with XRP being quite strong as well for whatever reason. Now, there's multiple reasons for that, but that also helps XLM. And then you can see that so far the reaction to levels where we needed to get a strong reaction, let's keep it at that, has been quite good, right? So for example, with that auction higher, we left some imbalances right here to the downside. You can see the first imbalance, that single print right here, has held relatively well, and we did not even fill those imbalances lower. So I think, first of all, it is a possibility, if we go to the 12-hour time frame back, it is a possibility that we still pull back and fill those imbalances. But honestly, every big move that always starts with an imbalance, right? Because an imbalance also signals aggressive buying. So yeah, I'm actually, look, if you want to enter XLM, I would wait for a little bit more confirmation potentially, but don't wait too long. And it's actually looking quite good for a move into that point of control area right here at 27 cents, and who knows how high we can go from there. So those are my thoughts. Very interesting. I'll keep you updated on this for certain. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.